Hello, guys. I'm back again. Uh, I'm going to be talking about today USC stuff, um, the NFL trade deadline, and last week, and then next week. And yeah, let's get right into it. The USC stuff. If you haven't heard over the weekend, um, that Jaden Mayava is going to start in 2 weeks against Nebraska. And he's going to use this week for install and to get the new offense up and running and stuff like that. And Miller Moss um, is gonna be still the leader from the background, I guess. And yeah, it was a big hullabaloo online. Um, uh, Miller Moss's mom uh, came up and was like, "Oh yeah," she shared her feelings about her son in the benching, and then Jane Mayava's mom shared her thoughts separately. They didn't end up going up against each other, but um, it was this big thing where USC fans were, I don't want to say celebrating, but they were they wanted this to happen for a little bit, since Miller Moss hasn't delivered on his great performances earlier in the year. Um, but I think we can all agree, really, is that he was put in a really not so good situation these past couple games, especially last game where he was against Washington, where he threw, what was it, like 40 something passes against the Big Ten's best um, pass defense, and didn't run the ball that much, and we just we were down, and then we came roaring back, and then we just sputtered in the end, and it was this big thing where where people were like, "Oh, he throws interception, a game-changing interception, and then we lose." And we are leading in the fourth quarter and stuff like that, which I would I would disagree with that for the Washington game, where we weren't really leading in the fourth quarter, but we had two chances to punch it in. We were in the red zone twice in the fourth quarter, and we just didn't punch it in. The first time we were inside the 5 yard line, and we ran an RPO. um, when I feel like a lot of this can fall on Riley's plate, um, though I don't think it's kind of like he's a bad coach because of it. It's just that this year hasn't been a really good year for him. It doesn't seem like his his first pocket passer ever, and like he kind of doesn't know what to do with Miller. It's more like we were inside the 5 yard line, and we ran an RPO when the defense could probably figure out that Miller wasn't gonna keep it and stuff like that. When you have that kind of thing, when you have a pocket passer, when you have a guy who doesn't really run, but he runs sometimes, I wouldn't call an RPO in the at the 1 yard line. um, or like a an option. Mostly because it's like, who are you trying to fool? Um, and Jaden is a more mobile quarterback, so I'm guessing he's just going back to his roots to try to win a few games. I don't know. Uh, we have a bye week this week, and so, like I said earlier, um, Jaden will have this week and next week to kind of get in line with the offense and stuff like that. And if the if next game goes wrong again, I don't think it like there's a lot of stuff that he Lincoln Riley's gonna have to answer for. And so hopefully we can win against Nebraska and then win against UCLA and then it's time for Notre Dame. Um, other than that, it's just this year was so weird. Um, Miller was and is a pretty good pocket passer, but he got hit like one too many times, I guess. Like his mechanics were off, his throws were off. It just seemed like he was rushed a bunch of times that game, even though he wasn't. He still had pretty clean pocket. Um, and we still refused to run the ball. We didn't run the ball enough in the first half, and then we started running the ball in the second half, and then straight away from it in the fourth quarter. And it's just like we were going down the field with on our last drive. I think I told my family, "Hey, just run it, just to surprise them," because we still I don't know how many timeouts we had, but we had like 19 seconds left, and the clock stops after at the first down, and it was second down and 4, I think, and I was like, just run it, surprise them, and then they passed it 3 times, and all 3 were incomplete. So I'm just spitballing here. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm better at coaching than anyone else. Other than that, I think that USC has a chance to win 2 of the next 3 games. At least 2 of the next 3 games. Notre Dame's going to be pretty tough. They're a pretty tough team, but hopefully we beat them. And then 7-5, not good, but not bad either. Um, same amount of losses as last year. We can we can talk about that all day long. And then, like I said a couple of weeks ago, Nebraska seems to be the most similar to USC in like how their season has been going, except the opposite. They've won a couple more games than us, and it was they kept it close with Michigan. They kept it close with I think Ohio State, um, and I'm just hoping that our defense shows up, and then Jaden can get a couple touchdowns, and we can win that game. I'm hoping for his success, but I also hope that Miller Moss can land on his feet and get another shot because he deserves it. Um, he's more than good enough for it. It's just hopefully our offensive line is better next year. In the first couple weeks. Other than that, yeah. Trade deadline. Um, it was a pretty quiet trade deadline this past yesterday. Marshawn Lattimore went to Washington, and uh, Green Bay offloaded a couple people. It's it wasn't really um, one of those trade deadlines where you're like, holy smokes, big name players are going to different teams this year. A lot of that happened before the deadline, like the Chiefs getting D Hop and Uche. Um, and just getting better. Um, Another pass rusher, and then a wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes. And the way they won on Monday was really funny. Like I felt it was really funny. Um, yeah. Other than that, I feel like a lot of stuff is coming up um, for last week. I feel like we had a lot of ooh, not that. Um, yeah, last week there was a lot of just surprising to me games where I was just like, why? What is happening here? Why is this happening? Like, I think said this last time, but the Thursday night game, the Texans Jets, like, I didn't see that coming anytime, any place. The Bears lost to the Cardinals, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm a Cardinals fan. Um, and though I am a USC fan, so I wish Caleb the best, but just beat you. Just beat you today, uh, Sunday. Rams Seahawks. I watched the last couple minutes of that game. Seahawks went for the touchdown, and people were like, "Take the points, trust in your defense." But I feel like Stafford is one of those guys where you don't want to give the ball back to him with a chance to win it. Uh, if you want to go for the throat, go for the throat. Because if they kicked a field goal there, they're just giving Matthew Stafford the ball back with the rest of the time in overtime to rip your heart out. And I felt like going for the fourth down there was the best thing for the team to win. I just thought that they didn't call the right play. Another just straight handoff to Walker. I thought that they should use a little misdirection, maybe a counter, maybe something like that. But I'm not the coach. I'm not a grub. Um, but they kept it close. They tied it, forced it to overtime. Just, I bet they wish they got that fourth down, and then they scored the touchdown. Uh, they would have been winning 26-20. Bills Dolphins. Uh, Not that surprising. I felt like the Dolphins have had a better offense, but then their defense is just falling apart. Like I've said before, and on, I feel like the Dolphins are just starting their season and they're trying to figure out who they are and how to play complementary football again. Ever since Tua was hurt and he came back a couple weeks ago, they were just like, now how do we play football again? You know, and I feel like they'll win a couple more games, but it's just too late in the season for any playoff runs. At least I don't think. Um, Ravens Broncos. I thought the Ravens would win, not by this much. Uh, they thoroughly trounced the Broncos. Their the Broncos defense, I think, still is good, but I don't think their offense can help it. You know, um, their offense with a struggling quarterback and a coach who is trying to get the most out of him this year, and then hopefully he can grow next year. Chargers Browns. Jameis threw 3 picks, threw a touchdown. Um, it wasn't really that close. The Chargers dominated from the first second, the kickoff. It wasn't that close. Panthers Saints. Here's another surprise where I thought the Saints would finally snap their streak, 7-game streak, but Bryce Young, who'd have thunk it? Bengals Raiders. I felt like this was closer than it originally seems, but um, Joe Burrow really stepped up, and their defense kind of came to life at the end there. So, Commanders Giants. Not that big of a surprise. Commanders were up early. They kind of let the Giants in the back door, but they ended up with the win. So, got to clean some stuff up. I think Jaden Daniels is going to win Rookie of the Year quite easily, but we'll have to see. Falcons Cowboys. I had a feeling this was going to happen. The Cowboys just are in complete disarray this year, especially with the injuries and such. I don't think they, especially since they got blown up by the Saints. I was like, something's wrong here. I don't think they can make it to the playoffs this year. They need to just take everything and just they need to fix something. Like, yeah. Titans Patriots. Uh, Drake May is still a rookie. He showed that this game. Hopefully he can learn, get a better O line next year. Hopefully the Patriots' first pick is an offensive lineman, a good offensive lineman. Hopefully, not like other teams and their offensive linemen. Eagles Jaguars. Um, Eagles had a great day. Heard Sirianni made some questionable decisions. Other than that, it's the Eagles were up early again, and then let the Jaguars in the back door. Almost lost the game, um, but then their defense saved them at the end. What's to say about the Eagles? Uh, Lions Packers. I think that Jordan Love wasn't really ready to play this game. Um, Lions just took advantage. Um, I think that both both teams are good. Um, it's just that the Packers need to figure out a way to get Jordan Love to stop throwing those picks. um, get the Brett Favre out of him. Make him play more like Aaron Rodgers. Um, that not much about that. Colts Vikings was watching this. Um, I feel like it's a lot closer than it was. The Colts really got some garbage time scores there. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. Um, their only touchdown came off of a fumble sack, which a lot of Vikings fans are like, should be roughened. So hopefully the Vikings can fix some stuff, ending their 2-game skid. Hopefully they can win a couple more games. Hopefully they can get a couple wins in the playoffs. That's that's all I'm hoping for. Chiefs, Buccaneers. What do you say about the Chiefs now? Like they're the team to beat in all of the NFL. It's not a lot of it is just you're like, how do they keep getting away with this? How do they keep getting the best players, the best, even with their coaching being the best in the league and their quarterback play being the best in the league, their defense being one of the best in the league? It's just like it's not fair. It's not fair for the rest of the teams, and it's just like what what can anyone do except create another super team to beat this team? And it might not even work because chemistry issues and stuff like that. So we'll see if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. They're definitely making it to the playoffs. They'll probably get that first round bye, and the AFC will go through Arrowhead once again. So for next week, we have the Bengals Ravens on Thursday tomorrow. Um, I think that the Ravens will win that game. Um, the Bengals just I still don't know about the Bengals, man. Like they've shown flashes of their old ability, like in the offense and defense, but it's just you need to put it together, man. You need to get it together, man. And I think the Ravens are just too good right now. Well, this can be one of those trap games where the Bengals pull out a win, but I really don't feel like the Ravens are going to lose this one. And I'm more than willing to be wrong on that. Jets Cardinals. This is a tough one because the Jets are just getting back on track. But I think the Cardinals will win. I don't think the Jets are a good team right now. I think they're too intertwined with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. And their head coach being fired is catching up to them a little bit. I know they had a good showing last week, but their defense just doesn't look the same as it did with Saleh. So my thinking is the Cardinals will beat the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers won't be happy. You know? Giants Panthers in Germany. Jeez. This is just toss up because both of these teams are pretty bad. But I think the Panthers, with their momentum, will probably win this. Because I don't think the Giants are. They're mired in a lot of stuff. So we'll have to see. Broncos Chiefs. Until proven otherwise, I think the Chiefs will win most, if not all, their games this year. I just don't think the Bronco offense, is good enough. And with the Chiefs getting D-Hop, it's going to be hard for that defense. Steelers Commanders. Steelers Magic or Commanders new good team. I think. Oh boy, Russell Wilson is new, but the Commanders are also pretty new. I think the Steelers. Will win. I don't think the Commanders' defense is really all that good this year. They're decent. They got Marshawn Lattimore, which should help them, but I just think the Steelers are better than the Commanders right now. And I could be wrong because the Commanders are really good this year. Vikings Jags. I think the Vikings will win. Nothing against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, but they're just one of those teams where we'll keep you close. We'll probably come back in the end, but really won't win anything. Their defense is trash. Their wide receivers, It's just Calvin Ridley there, so and Brian Thomas, but I don't know the availability of Thomas. Falcons Saints, Falcons easily. Um, the Saints are just in the you know what. Like if they win this game, they snap their seven games skid, but I don't think it's against this team. 49ers Buccaneers really depends on who the 49ers have. If they have everyone, then the 49ers. But the Buccaneers played a really good game last week, so it might be the Buccaneers. But I'm going to go with the 49ers right now. I see no reason to go away from that. Colts Bills. Bills will probably win this easily, even with AR, even with Joe. I don't think that their offense is good enough to score that many points against the Bills, and their defense is, yeah. Patriots Bears. I'm telling you, if the Bears lose this, Shane Waldron, it might be time to go. And I think that when Shane Waldron was hired by the Bears, Seahawks fans were like, "What the?" Kind of like a good what the, because it's just like you hired him, why? Kind of like that. But um, man, the Bears need to win this to stay in the conversation of the division. Um, like if they lose, they're probably gonna. And I always thought this, but this year's just not the Bears' year. Caleb Williams learning how to play NFL football instead of just college football, and with Eberflus and Waldron at the helm, it's just not the day, not the year, not the day. I've said this year, but the Bears are a year or two and an Eberflus firing away from really being contenders. I think Ben Johnson would be more than enough for this team. Even though a couple last year I was like, Bills hire Ben Johnson instead of your coach, Sean McDermott, because Sean McDermott, I've always said, has a definite ceiling of like AFC Championship or AFC divisional game, but he's just not good enough to make it across that line. So hopefully the Bills win and prove me wrong, but um, for right now, it seems like that's the case. Titans Chargers. Chargers will probably win pretty easily. The Titans aren't good, not good. Eagles Cowboys. I think the Eagles win this pretty easily. The Cowboys are still pretty injured. I don't know who they're getting back this week, but I think the Eagles will win this pretty easily. They might blow the lead a couple times. They just seem like that kind of team where they get up early and then they blow the lead and then they pull away late. I mean, almost every Eagles fan is calling for Sirianni's head. So if they lose against the Cowboys, man, I know of a Cowboy fan who will be happy, and a coach who will probably be out on his butt. But let's just see how this week turns out. Lions, Texans, Lions. They just got a new pass rusher. The Texans' offensive line is doo-doo garbage, so Lions win pretty easily. I think that the Texans' offense can definitely be stopped with a potent rush. So then Dolphins, Rams. Oof. I just think the Rams are better than the Dolphins right now. Their defense is better than Dolphins, and their offense is about par or maybe better than the Dolphins right now. So I think the Rams will win Monday, and I think that's pretty much it. That is it for next week's NFL games. So comment down below, subscribe, peace.